Hello, everyone. I'm Daniel Fosco, Senior Product Designer on the release stage. I'm here with Chris Balani, Senior Product Manager on the release stage as well. And this is our Release Product and UX Weekly. All right, Chris, do you have any comments before we jump into the agenda?
No comments, let's jump in.
All right, so first up, let's review our planning board for the upcoming 14.8 milestone that's just starting Monday. So speaking more specifically to design, the things that I currently have on workflow design are these two issues. There are usability improvements for the releases page, the tags page actually, that are almost finished, but not quite. I need to wrap up their proposals and then they'll be ready for planning breakdown. They are marked as P3 on 14.8. I'm not sure if we'll be able to get to them, but they'll be ready for development shortly. The other one is the dynamically populated group environments page. I'll talk more about it in a bit. And then the ones in ready for design, especially at the top, are the ones that are scheduled for 14.8, right? So update project settings is to support the deployment approvals effort. These two other issues are also scheduled for the milestone, and the others will be picked up as capacity allows them. Does that make sense to you, Chris? Or is there anything that you're missing from here, or something else?
Yeah, no, this is all of that makes sense. These are a great mix of features across direction to support the, like, for example, the approval feature and group environments, which is something we're focusing on next. And then I'm glad to see us working on the scorecard issues as well to help make the product more usable for our users.
Yeah, to be honest, we are still missing some issues that are more research related because they are part of broader efforts. So the CM scorecard, right, like you mentioned, for release, we don't have a link yet because we're still working on jobs to be done. But once we have, it will be on the plan board as well. Back here. So in terms of review direction pages, you did a review that I left a comment already, but it's already merged. I actually wanted to talk a little bit about the jobs to be done as well. We have talked about it on our 101, but I think it's worth reiterating for the audience here. We are working to restructure our jobs to be done on release in preparation for the upcoming scorecard that we'll work on. And the idea here is to initially was to do a light review of our jobs to be done, but as we worked on it and got more feedback, I realized we really needed to restructure. There was a lot of duplication across our jobs to be done and a lot of siloing, right? The jobs to be done were directly addressing categories, so we had statements that were duplicated between them. So the link will be on the agenda. You can take a look. But it's a large MR, and I'm super interested to discuss it and have it merged. There's also a video review, by the way, that goes over some of the bigger changes, so it's easier to absorb everything at once. All right, Chris already commented there, so I'll just skip if he doesn't have any additional comments. Review UX vision prototypes. So that's what I added here is the group environments page. For some context, this is essentially a high-level page, probably on the group level, that will implement, that will show all the production related project environments, right? So instead of having one project with their environments, you're going to have a page that has multiple projects listed and all of their environments for production. As we progressed with this proposal, another idea came up to have, just scroll all the way down here because it's here. There you go. A page that lists every single deployment and where you can filter by different aspects, different facets. So almost like a deployments dashboard. So that discussion started to grow a lot. So we decided to separate it into its own issue, which is this one. That way we can move along with the MVC for the group environments page. while also exploring this idea further down the line of this dynamic deployments list. With that said, it has been raised to me that there is a lot of similarities between this and the environments dashboard and designs that were already previously validated. So I think this is a direction that is constantly coming up for our team, and it makes sense for us to explore, but we also have to do so looking at the previous research and making sure that we're going into a direction that hasn't been invalidated before. And if it was, then if it's makes sense to revalidate it and see if now it makes sense, we do that, but also respecting the previous research and the things that we have discovered in the past. This issue was just created, so there's not a lot of discussion on it. Discussion was in the other one, but expect news around this area very soon.
Yeah, excited to see that one. That was the first time actually I saw it, so I'll definitely take a look. Daniel, thank you for putting the first proposal out there for how we can show deployments across the org.
I mean, this was I didn't create the new mockups or anything when I created the issue. I just moved them to a separate one. I wish I did it before because all of the really good discussion is in the previous issue, but that's okay. So yeah, let's see where it goes. I'm very, very excited about this direction. But again, I don't want to repeat things that we have tried before without properly evaluating them. So let's plan around it before we dive too deep. Otherwise, I can get too excited about this. It can happen.
Yeah. If I could comment or add my thoughts there. I totally agree with everything you said. I think it's really good for us to explore sort of diverging ideas, especially for these sort of vision concepts. And so, yeah, definitely, I think you and we should lean on the previous research. I think we should do an exercise of like trying to understand where, like you pointed out, where this overlap is and where maybe there's common things that we can start on first if they are aligned. And then since we're talking about vision and prototypes, we discussed this in another call, but I think what we both want to do is get in a sort of a habit of putting these ideas into our vision, like refreshing our vision prototype that we do that the release stage has done in the past, and then use that as like an artifact to even validate to one, like see how all these pieces fit together, and then also validate with our customers and other folks that we work with as well. So I'm really excited to see, I think this is step one, right? I think really excited to see us starting to lay out these sort of future concepts, and then yeah, next step will be putting it together.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was a natural progression of me expanding the proposal for that specific issue, and then growing into something that was beyond that, and then breaking into a separate issue was a necessary and really good first step. But yeah, definitely growing these ideas into the vision level and validating them, and then bringing them back down into design and implementation issues. That makes a lot of sense.
Awesome.
All right. Cool. So moving on to research needs. I'm really happy with the customer calls we've been having. We had a really good customer call this week that Chris facilitated about deployment approvals. It was fascinating to see not only how much the solution that we're building matches the user case, the use case for that customer, but also all of the things and workflows they built around GitLab to have that functionality while we didn't offer it yet. So it was really interesting, and I'm interested, Chris, in structuring these calls, not only the calls themselves, but everything around them, right? How we recruit for these calls, how we make up screeners, like our scripts, and then how we share results and track follow-ups. I had created this issue, this pilot issue for recurring customer interviews and release, and that I didn't have a lot of time to work on it, also because we're researching already, but that's what we've been doing naturally. So I think it's more of a process of structuring how we do this and making sure that we have repeatable results, right? I also mentioned having sort of a small database of customers that we can do follow-ups with. So I'll try to get back to this issue soon, and have like more actionable steps for us to build this structure around interviewing.
Sounds great. Yeah, definitely agree there. And actually, Daniel, I didn't tag you in this, but I did. Let me add it to our doc. But I started an issue. I talked to Victor the other day about how he sort of just his process for doing continuous interviewing, in terms of where to document the notes and how to use Dovetail and all of that. And so I created an issue in our CD group project so that we can track those notes and so on. So that's something that we can use as well.
Nice.
Yeah. So we can iterate on this, but since it was still fresh on my mind after that call, I just wanted to document some notes.
Yeah, I'll check out the notes later when we're not
Cool.
recording. Thanks for sharing the link.
Yeah.
And yeah, my last point on cross-stage collaboration, and one of the points that came up in the discussion during these jobs to be done was a job from package that had a lot of overlap with release. So Katie, the designer from release, was tagged in the discussion. And we're trying to find a common ground, like one job for that specific area that is useful for customers both in release and package. But on top of that, we're getting together next week to discuss more broadly about how we can get these two areas together, especially because there are issue and feature proposals for reusing pieces of package functionality in release and vice versa. So I think it's a really good conversation to have that is a little bit overdue even.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'll keep you updated on what comes out of that.
Sounds great. Yeah, that'll be great.
All right. Those were some of the topics I added. Do you have anything else?
Nothing at the moment. Yeah, these are great updates and looking forward to continuing those efforts and the issues with you.
Same, yeah. Well, thanks for watching and yeah, see you next time.